Very quickly, before you go, what happens next with you, Usyk?
Next year.
Wilder?
I won't fight with Baron's Bomber. Yes, Wilder.
Thank you very much.
The belts are not charity, okay? I stick by what I stick to my guns. The way when there's a champion, you cannot be charity, okay? There's no charity champions here. There's nothing about nobody. Who cares about closing out that chapter?
Wilder is the lone big name missing from Usyk's ledger.
Oleksandr Usyk has just dropped a bombshell that has the entire boxing world recalculating. In a move that feels like a player making a final aggressive strike, the unified king has officially named the Bronze Bomber as his primary target for 2026. This isn't just about another title defense, it's about a calculated legacy play that few saw coming.
No matter what anyone says, people gonna watch that damn fight and be holding their breath the whole time. I got Usyk knocking him out because I figured something out about Wilder. If there's punches in his face, he can't punch. And Joseph Parker did that. Joseph Parker either had punches in his face or he was way over there. So the whole time, Wilder was just trying to find. That brother was like, pop, pop, pop. Brother, as soon as he opened his eyes back, Joseph Parker was way over there. Nobody's going to keep fists in Wilder's face more than Usyk. With the footwork, pop, 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 you know, and then he's going to be way over there. I think Usyk stops him.
They need to just stop throwing different fighters at Usyk. In my opinion, Usyk just needs to fight Wilder and fight Parker. I know Wilder hasn't earned a shot, but he beat everybody else already from that era.
As Usyk counts down the final fights of his career, he has revealed the real, shocking reason why he needs to face the most dangerous puncher in heavyweight history before he finally walks away for good. The boxing world was stunned when Oleksandr Usyk, the consensus pound-for-pound #1, bypassed younger, hungrier mandatories to call out Deontay Wilder. To many, Wilder is a faded legend, coming off brutal losses to Joseph Parker and Zhilei Zhang.
Yeah, this idea, Paulie, this is the last big name on his resume. He has wiped out an entire era of heavyweights, and in most cases, he's done it more than once. This idea that Deontay Wilder, perhaps the last big name he hasn't fought, is that why he wants to check it off the list to you?
Is it about big names? Why doesn't he go call Vladimir Klitschko again then? What are we talking about, guys? What are you smoking? What you was on? You both agreed? Did you watch?
They both agreed. I heard it.
Did you watch Wilder's last fight? Because I watched it. I couldn't even finish it. I went to sleep. That's how bad it was. That's how bad he looked. That's not a guy who should be fighting for a heavyweight title anymore. Yes, he had a good career. He was very good at one time. Yada, yada, yada. I admit it. And, of course, acknowledge it rightfully so. But I don't know, bro. I at this point, Deontay against Vladimir Klitschko is more competitive than Deontay against Usyk. Come on, bro. What are we talking about? The belts are not charity, okay? I stick by what I stick to my guns. The way when there's a champion, you cannot be charity, okay? There's no charity champions here. There's nothing about nobody. Who cares about closing out that chapter?
Usyk does. Usyk cares.
What do we call it?
Obviously, he cares.
Okay, but why does anybody else care? That again, I'm basing this.
You know why they care? Because we're all going to tune in. We're all going to tune in. That's why.
Tune in. I went to sleep during Wilder's last fight.
You're not going to tune in. You're going to tune in too. You're going to tune into this fight.
Yeah, until I go to sleep again. Unless Usyk sleeps some earlier than that. Come on.
You know, he's standing up for the integrity of titles. That's what Paulie does. He stands up for the integrity of titles. I applaud you, Paulie. Good stuff, man.
But Usyk doesn't see a beaten man. He sees a missing chapter in his own legend. Speaking recently at the Ring 5 event in Riyadh, Usyk made it clear, Wilder is his first choice. This isn't a random whim. Usyk is a student of boxing history, and he knows that to truly sit at the top of this generation's Mount Rushmore, he has to sweep the Titans.
I thank you so much, the Ring Magazine. Yeah, it's a great evening, great fight, Nakatani. Then Picasso, Inoue, I like the hair because I'm not boxing. I just read like a show, you know. It's like I like.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure that's a nice change for you.
Yeah.
And the last time we saw you in the ring, of course, was in July, 5th round stoppage of Daniel Dubois in the rematch. You know, he tried to claim in the first fight that it was a low blow. We know it wasn't. So what do we see from you next year? What are your plans?
My team prepare for me next year fight. I want fight with it's Daniel bronze bomber.
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder. Yeah. I won this fight. I think Deontay too wanna. Okay, let's go.
He has already humbled Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, the two other pillars of the modern Big Three. Wilder is the final boss he hasn't defeated, and for a man obsessed with perfection, that gap in his resume is unacceptable.
And look, we all know that Deontay Wilder is no longer in his prime, but I still find the fight interesting, and I imagine the reason you do too is because he's one of the biggest names of your era, and you want to beat all the biggest names in what is Oleksandr Usyk's era. Is that right?
It's biggest names. This is man last 10 year top fighter. I think for me it's a great fight.
And of course, he's one of the biggest punchers, if not the biggest puncher in heavyweight history. I'm assuming that interests you too, trying to see how if you can knock him out.
Yeah, March again this year. I say again.
Oh, and of course, Deontay Wilder is one of the biggest punchers in heavyweight history, but you're a pretty big puncher too. You know, even though you're coming from cruiserweight, we saw you knock out Dubois, we saw you hurt Tyson Fury and drop him, so maybe you have the bigger punch.
Я уже понял. Maybe, but maybe. Yeah.
Usyk wants this fight. Despite Wilder's recent decline, he still possesses the equalizer, a right hand that many consider the hardest single punch in the history of the sport. Critics call Wilder limited, but Usyk calls him interesting. Usyk wants to prove once and for all that his high IQ technical wizardry can nullify the ultimate power. It's the test of style. Can a master technician dance through 12 rounds without making a single fatal mistake?
Deontay Wilder, Usyk called him out.
Wilder better go get that. Wilder better go get that. Wilder better go get that.
Called him out, Sue.
He got
That's another opportunity.
But for real, Deontay got to train. He got to train for that, my nigga. Train for that. And don't skip leg day. No skipping leg day. Gotta hit leg day, all that, everything. Cause if he, I believe this, man. If Deontay Wilder go in there and get right, he can make that fight a more competitive, interesting fight than a lot of people expected. Trust me. Wilder still got something in there. He still could crack. See, remember, as long as you got that fucking right hand, that's the last thing to go. The last thing to go. As long as you got that shit on the right hand this one. You know, I'm so used to my fucking left hand. I'm just always looking.
Do you feel like it's a winnable fight though if he does come to train?
Who?
For Wilder. That's a tough fight.
I thought you said me. Is it a winnable fight if I go to train? I said, what? You fucking hell yeah. 100. Everybody, Mills, the biggest thing out there about Zab is if he train, y'all got a problem. Right? Am I right or wrong? It's nobody in the world say, if he trains, y'all got a problem. The only part they say, oh, well, if he come in here bullshitting, then y'all might get him. But if he trains, everybody know they got a problem. It's a problem.
That being said, Usyk has more or less cleaned out this era, or perhaps more accurately, the previous transitional era between Vlad and Usyk, and Wilder is the lone big name missing from Usyk's ledger. Before Usyk made the jump to heavyweight, for years the big three in the heavyweight division were Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder. Usyk already beat both AJ and Fury, not once, but twice. He also beat Daniel Dubois twice, and those are Usyk's last 6 fights. Historically, it is not unusual for a heavyweight champion to take a soft touch here and there, nor is it unusual for former champions to get another shot at heavyweight glory, where the name value with the distinction of being a former heavyweight champion, those things in conjunction tend to enhance a reigning champion's overall legacy.
Usyk is gambling his perfect record to prove that intelligence beats power every single time, even when that power is legendary. Perhaps the most shocking part of Usyk's recent revelation is the timeline. The unified champion has officially confirmed that he only has 2 or 3 fights left in his career. At 38 years old, Usyk knows the clock is ticking. He has already achieved the unthinkable, becoming undisputed in 2 different weight classes during the 4-belt era. Every fight he takes now is spending his limited remaining health and time.
And finally, for me, Alexander, you are an all-time great already. You're a future Hall of Famer. How long do we see you fight? How many more fights do we have?
I think 2-3 fights more.
All right, well, certainly we're going to appreciate you while you're here. Thank you so much for the time, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, all people who work here, who work the ring. Thank you so much, Turki Al-Sheikh, because without Turki Al-Sheikh, this is boxing not my fight too. Thank you.
Absolutely. He wants it. Give it to him. He's the man. He's the man to beat. He got stripped of his WBO title, which has now elevated Fabio Wardley into that position. But it's not like Wardley has been waiting outside to fight Usyk for a long time, like Joseph Parker was.
20 pro fights.
For example. He wasn't waiting that long. It's not like, hey, he can wait a little bit longer. He can go get another fight. He can go defend his newly crowned title. But for Usyk, man, yeah, let him do what he wants. He's the man at the top of the division. Honestly, it's a big fight. I like the fight. I think it's cool. I've always thought about thinking about those two together was an interesting matchup because, listen, Wilder can still punch, man. That thing never goes away. He's got that right cannon of a right hand, and he's got the size, the reach, and it's a puzzle for Usyk to figure out. And he's one of the best puzzle figure-outers in the game, so I would like to see how he goes about that. I'm okay with this.
By choosing Wilder, he is choosing a legacy icon over a mandatory contender like Fabio Wardley. Usyk explicitly stated that fighting Wardley doesn't interest him, exposing the truth that at this stage of his career it's about global events and historical scalps, not just collecting belts. While rumors swirled about a split from Riyadh's season, the latest updates suggest the monster partnership with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh is stronger than ever. Usyk was ringside in Saudi Arabia just days ago, acting as a global ambassador for the sport while watching Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatani. His presence there signals that the Wilder fight is being fast-tracked for a mega event in Riyadh, or potentially a historic US debut at Madison Square Garden.
By no metric can you say that this is a difficult fight for Usyk, or should be. I do see the homage. I do see him closing the circle on that generation of heavyweights. Yeah. I think he respects Wilder. I think he has given Wilder a shot that he personally feels like Wilder deserves, and giving himself a shot to just put a period on everybody who ran the era before him. So you can't say there's no ifs, ands, or buts about anything. I did them all. I knocked them all down or beat them all at least in 12 rounds. Wilder earned this. I know that sounds crazy, but he earned this. He made that WBC belt what it was while he was holding it, with what at least I regarded as absolute minimum boxing skills, gave us knockout after knockout after knockout. Granted, he wasn't a superstar in America like Joshua was in the United Kingdom, but he held down the WBC.
10
he
title
was an
defenses.
American WBC. How many?
10.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he paid his sanctioning fees, and he did the business. And yes, he might be shot. And yes, if he's going to seriously compete at the elite levels, I'm talking about climbing through the ranks. Yeah, he's going to need a lot of reps and to get whatever this new style is with his new coach down. But this one, it might be the godsend that he needs, because throw everything out the window, Deontay. Forget about what you're learning. Forget about, just go just one night.
One right hand, one night.
Bomb squad. One night, one right hand. Get your confidence back. Get in there and do what you do best the way that you do it, and see if it's enough. Because the one thing that we don't necessarily know about Usyk is if he could take a classic peak Wilder right hand. Well, everything else from Wilder may have been faded or shot. The power is the last to go.
The last thing to go.
Confidence, and he can land it. You might see just one classic Deontay Wilder right hand. And are any of us prepared to say that if that lands clean on Usyk, it doesn't ghost him?
Saudi Arabia has provided the blank checks that have allowed Usyk to skip the politics of promoters and focus on the fights that matter. This fight isn't just about the ring, it's about the massive financial exit strategy for the P4P king. There is a whisper in boxing circles that Usyk wants Wilder because he knows it's the perfect stylistic trap. Usyk is a southpaw who moves with a fluidity that heavyweights aren't supposed to possess. Former Wilder rivals like Bermane Stiverne have already started predicting a one-sided masterclass. They argue that Wilder's trigger is gone and that Usyk's angles will make the Bronze Bomber look like he's boxing in sand. By taking this fight, Usyk isn't just looking for a win, he's looking for a shutout. He wants to retire as the only man who faced the most terrifying punchers of his era and made them all look like amateurs.
I think when we look at the last 10 years, this last decade, and you're talking about characters of the sport, and you look at Deontay Wilder,
he's up there.
He's up there.
He's box
right?
office.
And you go, please just find one more performance. And when you speak to the guy, and the trouble he's had outside of the ring,
But
very honest.
Kenny, I mean, this
point, Simon.
alter ego that we talk about, which is the Bronze Bomber.
Yeah.
Do you reckon? I mean, he's always been a very personable fellow. Even when he was in British TV studios promoting the first fight with Tyson Fury, despite there was an element of rancor between them, he was always relatively good-natured. What is this Bronze Bomber mentality? Is it a real thing? And if it is, does he need to get it back? Is he capable of getting it back at this stage in his career after, performances against Zhilei Zhang, against Joseph Parker that were just not reflective of what we recognise to be Deontay Wilder? Can he do that? And if he does he have any chance against Oleksandr Usyk?
He's got every chance against Oleksandr Usyk. He could be.
Pack it in, Joe.
No. But listen, because he's such a dangerous puncher.
There is no animosity between the two P4P leaders, but Usyk's focus on Wilder shows he is operating on a different level of legacy building. While Inoue is building a dynasty in the lower weights, Usyk is cleaning up the wreckage of the heavyweight division before he makes his final exit. He is a man who respects the monster from Japan, but believes the true monster of the sport resides in the heavyweight throne.
When are you going to come back? We've seen you recently, or this year. We're looking and hearing rumours about you potentially returning soon. I'm glad to see you here. What's the latest?
Man, the latest is we're in negotiations, and negotiations is looking real good. And hopefully everything is happening. I am in the business of boxing, and sometimes things may fall through at times. But at this moment in time, it's looking very promising. And when it happens, you're looking at the end of the new.
The move has not come without criticism. Censors and purists alike have questioned if Wilder should even be in the ring after his recent OD of violent knockout losses.
The undisputed heavyweight champion recently made some headlines about fighting Deontay Wilder, actually calling him out as the next guy he wants to fight. Me and you covered Deontay's last fight afterwards against Tyrell Herndon, right? And we both were happy to see Deontay back in the ring, getting a victory. But we said at best, he needs a lengthy rebuild against a succession of opponents to even consider fighting at the championship level. Or another scenario, he should just retire, because Deontay is clearly not the explosive, snappy, fearsome fighter that he was at his apex years ago. So this comes as a bit of a surprise. All I'm going to say is, no fighter is above the critique. And there's a lot going on right now that Usyk can do whatever he wants. This is the same thing they say about Crawford, same thing they said about Floyd years ago, Canelo. He paid the cost to be the boss, to quote James Brown. But I think this is a bad look, not only because Wilder seems shot, if not shot, badly faded from what he once was. He opted not to defend the title against Joseph Parker, which was a fight boxing fans really wanted to see when Parker had a lot of momentum. Looks like he's not going to fight immediately Parker's conqueror and Fabio Wardley. And then he also, over the months, has shot down ever fighting Moses Italma, which, to be fair to Usyk, Italma isn't exactly chomping at the bit for that opportunity. He knows he's green and very young and raw at 20 years old, as talented as he is. But all that being said, this is unbecoming of the heavyweight champion to call out a badly faded Deontay Wilder, Raheem. A couple years ago, this would have been an exciting tightrope act to see Usyk, like Luis Ortiz did, another southpaw, definitely outbox and piece up Wilder, but the tightrope of will he get lined up for just one right hand? I think the allure of the matchup is not there like it would have been.
Some argue that this fight is malicious toward a man whose chin may be permanently compromised. However, Usyk's camp has reframed the risk. They argue that Wilder is still a world champion guy and a very famous guy who deserves the chance to go out against the best.
It took after 2 therapists and a sports psychologist, that was a start. Wow. You understand me? And I never thought I would be able to have to go through that. You know what I mean? I didn't really believe in, those, like a lot of people don't, you know what I mean? I always was able to handle anything that I went through mentally, because your mind, we can do it, we can hit our own self, we can get ourselves out of a lot of other things as well. And I was very strong in that until I came up on a situation that I never thought I'd be able to, that I never thought I would have to go through. I wouldn't say I was surprised that I went through this situation. I'm surprised that I had to go through the situation. Look, fighters, if you got things going on personally and it's bothering you mentally, physically, definitely emotionally and stuff, and you got fights and stuff, cancel it right now. Cancel it. You don't want that on your mind going into something so dangerous as boxing where you risk your life. And that's the thing that I did, and and I suffered a cost for that, but I'm happy I did.
For Usyk, it's a sign of respect. He's giving Wilder the biggest platform possible for a final stand. If this fight happens in early 2026, we are witnessing the beginning of the end for one of boxing's most storied careers. Oleksandr Usyk is choosing to end his tenure by facing a man who represents the nightmare of every boxer. If he wins, he retires with a resume that includes Fury, Joshua, and Wilder, a feat no other heavyweight in history can claim. He will walk away as the unbeatable ghost that the sport couldn't solve. In the end, Usyk's desire for Deontay Wilder is the ultimate proof of his competitive insanity. He doesn't need the money, and he doesn't need the belt. He wants to leave the sport with no what-ifs. As he prepares for these final 2 or 3 battles, the world is left to wonder. The era of Usyk is closing, and the Bronze Bomber might just be the final explosion before the silence of retirement sets in.
I've got a new chapter here, and by the way, with the fight that everybody's talking about right now for you, this could be one of the most incredible bounce backs in boxing history.
Come on now you're talking. It's juicy right now, just like them crab. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's just been a lot. Everything that's going on, just to come back mentally. Because physically, I never left. You know what I mean? Physically, I'm in shape. I ain't worried, 40 years young. I feel amazing. Age is nothing but a number. You know what I'm saying?
He's looking in shape.
Man, you like the third person that said that. I had the first person that told me that was Shannon Briggs. I met him at breakfast this morning. He's like, damn, champ, you look good.
Let me ask you. So I saw Usyk's words and he says, you know what, I want to fight Deontay Wilder. And I looked at that in 2 ways. So I want to find your perspective. If I'm you and I hear that, I'm like, shit, yeah, you're picking me. But then do you look at that and go, you're picking me?
Yeah.
After you've seen this, maybe a bad run I've been on, you've had one comeback fight, you got the dub back in that win column. But do you look at that and go, nah, you're forgetting. Like, if I turn up how I turn up.
All of it.
Do you use that as
it's a part of me is thinking that. It's a part of me is feeling that. I'm like, oh, it's okay. All right. But it's refreshing because, I only look at the past of things and people know I still got it. Like I said, physically, I never left. You understand me? So that power was still there. And people would see that and nobody would want to fight. Ain't nobody want to fight. You have few people want to say something, but even still now, you may have certain things because I done had certain fights that I done promoted or we didn't got into it, but we done did shit and, and still. They don't want to really fight for real. It's just publicity or maybe get clicks and likes on their YouTube or me on their channels and stuff. But for this, this one, I know it's real. You know what I mean? I've been having the conversations, we've been in the talks and stuff, and I love it. I love it to be able to feel confidence enough to see that because they've seen that I've lost and stuff like that. Now they feel like I can get it now. I got him. There he is right now, which I love it.
Oleksandr Usyk has redefined what it means to be a modern heavyweight champion. He has bypassed the circus of influencer boxing and the stiffness of traditional promoters to build a legacy based on pure technical dominance. By calling out Deontay Wilder for 2026, he has ensured that his final acts will be as shocking and exposed as his rise to the top. Whether he wins or loses, the monster of Ukraine has proven that in the ring, IQ is the only thing that truly lasts. The boxing world will wait with bated breath for the first quarter of 2026, knowing that we are watching the final rounds of a legend who was never supposed to be this good. So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.